But there's so much that an organization can do themselves. Like Erick said, beginning with just let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's come up with some definitions that clarify what a succession plan is to us.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the really key piece on this, if you could pick a piece, right? It doesn't all have to be done at once. It doesn't all have to be done at the same time. But you do need to have an emergency plan. This is where organizations get caught when someone leaves unexpectedly. And we've seen this with so many organizations that we work with in finding an interim. They just weren't prepared for a sudden departure.
Mm-hmm.
And an emergency plan can help everyone feel like, well, that was unexpected, but we have a plan.
Right.
And not make some of the pretty serious mistakes that we can see being made. So start with a couple pieces of, hey, do we have all of our information in one place? So if our CEO left unexpectedly, we at least know how to, get into the building, and we know where the HR records are, and we know who our insurance agent is. And we think that, which can be done with an agency inventory, is one key step in a succession plan that doesn't require any outside help.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a great team effort with the staff that you have in place. So start somewhere. And then the pieces fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
Erick, it seems like if you could get through that hump, if you will, it would make it seem a lot like, okay, now we kind of know what we need to do, right? I mean, is that kind of like a mindset shift?
Well, I think the whole thing is a mindset shift. We've talking about infusing it into your agency culture. That is all about mindset shift, right? It's about cultural shift and making sure that you have it just included in things that are already happening. And so one of the ways to make it easier is where are opportunities to infuse succession planning in? If you have a performance review process already, where you're doing annual performance reviews, that's a great opportunity to just drop in some pieces around professional development for that staff person, but also the succession plan or transition plan for that position. So it's really, taking that broader view of like, what are we already doing and how can we layer this in? And to Joan's point too, is like, pick a piece, any piece, just start somewhere. I think we all get stuck in this thing is so huge and massive that we can't do it. But if we break it down into small pieces, small chunks, we can take one chunk at a time.
Right. Listening to the two of you speak, it also makes me realize that for a lot of organizations, the discussion about what interim leadership means is going to have to be part of this planning, because I think not enough people really understand what interim leadership looks like. I think it goes community to community. If you're in a community that has been using this and other nonprofits can learn from one another and leadership is talking about it, I think that's one thing. But I know there are communities across our, especially North America, where this is a new concept. And so you're going to have to kind of guide maybe that conversation a little bit in the beginning so that people understand what we're talking about.
We do think succession planning should include that idea that we would consider a professional interim in these instances. And then it's not, we talk to so many organizations that are in the middle of a crisis and now want to try to discover what an interim might do for them. Probably better to have that discussion early on, like what would this mean to us and what would this look like? And would we put this into our succession plan? Yes, we would.
Yeah, interesting. Well,